in talking about your relationship with the world, where are you going to find the resources necessary to make this break with the world so that you can serve Christ with all of your heart, mind, strength, and soul? Where are you going to get it from? The world would say, look within. Look to your own strength. Look to your own power. Will yourself to serve Christ. But God actually dispenses the power for the Christian life in a different way. He's been saying that He yearns jealously over the Spirit that He's made to dwell within us. And then in James chapter 4, verse 6, He says this. He says, but God gives more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, he will flee from you. Draw near to God, He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be wretched, mourn, and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy be to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will exalt you. The power that is necessary to live the Christian life comes from the grace of God and the grace of God alone. You really need to think of it like this. When God found you, He found you a wretched, unjustified sinner who was separated from Him. And it says in Ephesians 2, it is by grace you were saved through faith, that not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, not as a result of works, lest any man should boast. You were not saved through something that you did, but you were saved through faith in the finished work of Christ. Well, just as God by His grace saved you, God by His grace now wants to sanctify you. The same resources that God used by His Spirit to open your eyes to your sin and to raise you from the dead are the same resources that He is asking you to use to live the Christian life. It's not going to be through your willpower that you're going to be able to serve God with all of your heart, mind, strength, and soul. It's going to be through the grace of God and the grace of God alone. In other words, He says, He gives a greater grace. God's grace is greater than all of your sin. God's grace is greater than all of your temptation. God's grace is greater than the power of the world around you. So when you begin to sense the temptation beginning to mount on your heart, and when you begin to sense the desire to do the very thing that you know that God has called you not to do, it's not going to simply be through your own wisdom and your own willpower that you're going to find the strength to live the Christian life. You must rely on the grace of God. So remember, just as it was the grace of God that God used to save you, it's going to be the grace of God that God's going to use to finish you off.